All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for your patience. Just waiting for everyone to get on here with us. So welcome to your Lead Portal Providers training. Thank you for joining us. I know a lot of us out there have no power at home or, had a lot of shoveling to do last night. So we do appreciate everybody joining us still today. My name is Peter Callahan, and I'm here with Lynn Philpott, Sumita Chowdhury, Kim Keen's on the line with us, and we've got Donna Cohen-Avery as well. We are here to walk you through this new phase of your lead provider portal, so phase 3. So welcome. We're excited to be here with you today, Department of Early Education and Care. And we are going to cover a few different topics today, so we'll talk through as we go. Really what we're trying to cover is the different training materials we have available, because this is a brand new set of features, right? So most of you should already be in the lead provider portal unless you're brand new. But if you're on today, we've got your email address, so you should have access. If you don't, of course, just reach out to your licensor. They'll send you a quick link to sign on. But today, what we're going to cover are most of your available features in your lead portal. So we're going to go through a demonstration. We'll speak to, just quickly show you where those phase 2 features are in the provider information section. We will cover your portal dashboard, of course, which is going to be your home page. Really excited to show you that. We'll go through an application transaction. So this is a residential and placement training, but if you are from a group and school age program or family child care, completely fine. We're happy to have you. The system's going to look very similar. There'll just be a slightly different question as you go through a renewal application. So you'll see some things that are a little bit different, but we're in a demonstration environment today anyway, so not everything's going to look exactly as it will for you, but it's going to be very close. And really the goal today is to start to get you familiar with filling out these transactions now online, because we're really going from paper and filling out, all the different applications, transaction things you need to do, requesting a move. All those things are now going to go digital, as you'll see. And that also includes a document library, which is basically going to be your online filing cabinet now. So instead of having all the papers in a file, you can have them right here in the document library. And we're actually going to be asking you to do so over the coming months, get all that information up there. So the materials that you're going to have available, and what's important to note is that these features are going to go live. So you will see this brand new portal features. It's going to be the same portal. You're going to log in the same way you always do. So keep an eye out. We'll be in touch via email, let you know when that's coming. But we are looking forward to having these features available for you very soon. Once they come available, we're also at the same time going to be sending out some training materials for you. And actually, they will be right on the portal. I'll show you where you can find them. Most importantly will be basically your manual, right? So this is the Provider Lead Portal Training Guide. And this is going to be a long document. You don't need to read it all through, but it'll have a table of contents, and you'll be able to say, all right, I'm looking to do a renewal transaction, or I want to request a move or change a designee or an individual. All you need to do is look at the table of contents. It'll take you to the proper page. You can print it out or just have it on your computer. And that'll be able to walk you through step by step, just like we're going to do today, only it'll be on paper along with screenshots, and really help you as a reference guide as you get started using the system as well. So that's going to be available for you along with this PowerPoint deck. A recording of this training is going to be available right on YouTube. So for those of you who aren't on our YouTube channel yet, and which I don't know why you wouldn't be, it's an amazing YouTube channel, the EEC channel here, right on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe. Looks like we got 1 new subscriber, maybe 2 subscribers after our training at noon today. So we really would love to get up to 100 today. All right, that's my personal goal. So hop on. All you got to do is search. If you search, residential placement EEC, EEC lead will probably get you there too. We've got a whole group of videos already from phase 2. So if you have questions about submitting incidents or injuries, or any of the features you currently have available, please feel free to check out these videos, and you'll see you can also brush up on your Portuguese, Spanish, or Mandarin as well. So all these videos are going to be available, and pretty soon you will see today's training on here as well. So we will continue to add information and training materials both through YouTube and on your portal homepage, which we'll show you in just a minute. Lastly, we'll have a question and answer document too, kind of an FAQ doc. Hopefully that anything that isn't easily answered through the rest of these materials will be on that document. And all of that documentation is going to be available for you right on your homepage of your portal. So right down below, it's actually in the resources area. So right down here, all right, I'll skip to that right now. But this is what your new portal is going to look like. So here is your new homepage. So again, around March 21st, you are going to log in, and we'll email you and let you know when to expect it. But you're going to log in, and this is what your portal will look like. This will be your homepage. So we're going to go all through this for you today, really focus on a transaction. But really what I want to point out for you as we look at it is that there's kind of two main features that are really going to help you and the real benefit to you for these new upgrades. Because we understand this is a change, you're doing things differently. That can be hard or frustrating at first, but we're trying to support you in every way we can. And once you feel comfortable in the system, we hope that you'll see, as we do, all the benefits this is going to have to both yourselves as a provider and to us as the EEC and your licensor specifically. So really excited to show you this. We'll have this dashboard, which you just saw right up front. We'll kind of home screen is the licensing dashboard, which is going to give you some really clear notifications. And then again, all the transactions you're going to need to do with us are no longer going to be on paper. You don't need to go to our website and download them. They're all going to be new transactions here in your portal. And there's going to be a couple benefits to that, which we'll talk through. But really the idea is to help make it as easy for you as we can to complete your transaction. Make sure you hit all the requirements and not send in an incomplete application or transaction. And then also to make it happen more quickly. So the only things that are going to now be happening through the mail, we're not going to be mailing you applications, right? They're going to be available right here. Important time to note, if your renewal is after April 1st, we're going to ask you to hold on. We have mailed out those applications, but please hang on to them. We did that just in case as a fail-safe, but we're in good shape. So please wait. Even if your renewal is April 1st, we're asking you hang on to that application because it's going to need to be put into the portal one way or another. So don't fill out that application. It's okay if it's within 30 days. You've got permission to hold on. And once we're live, then you can put it in the system just like we'll show you today. All right. Okay, so let's get to this demo. Let's dive in. And one thing to note too, we do have a question and answer section. So if you look on your GoToWebinar, you've got a little questions tab. So just go ahead and click right on there and type in any questions you have. We will probably answer a lot of them, so maybe hold on till the end. But if we finish a section and you have a question about it, please feel free to go ahead and type it in there, and we will get to as many of those as we can before today is over. Whatever questions we don't get to will be added to that frequently asked question and answer document for you. Sound good? All right, so let's dive in. So again, right after you get that email, right around March 21st, you will log into your portal, and here's what you will see. A little bit more aesthetically pleasing, right? We got some nice colors, a little more contrast. I have heard this is a little hard to see on your screen, so I'm just going to highlight these to let it stand out for you a little bit better. But right on your home screen, you see these buttons on the left. We'll get to those in a little bit. But on your home screen, you've got your provider information and your license information. You'll see this alert here. This is about documents that have expired in your filing cabinet or your document library. So we'll touch on that in just a little bit, but that alert is. That's just one way that your portal is helping to notify you. And then underneath your provider information, we've got your license information. A really helpful little section for you to let you know your license type, your current capacity, of course, your issue and expiration date. And then instead of being mailed your application about 120 days before your expiration date, you will now see how many days you have remaining. And once you get under around 120 days remaining before it's due, right? So it's due about 30 days. It is due 30 days before your expiration date. You'll see a little ticker appear here, and it'll start to count down so you can let you know how many days you have left. Really helpful. won't have to go look at your wall anymore. All your license info is going to be right here, or the basic information. The rest of it will be up in your program information, just like it is now in your lead. So we'll look at that in a minute. But down here below, I just want to touch on this other section of your dashboard. It's going to be really helpful for you. These are your licensing transactions. So you'll notice we've got 4 different tabs here. Okay, so all the way from unsubmitted, submitted, under review, and process. This is where you're going to come look once you've started any new transaction. Once you've saved a transaction, if you get one started, just like we'll do today, and save it, it's going to show up down here in that unsubmitted status. Once you finish that transaction and click submit to the EEC, it will be here in your second tab, but that means we're still waiting on some more required information. Right, so we need, for the renewal, as we'll see today, we still need a tax certification and a BRC form, of course, the application fee, and for whatever transaction it is, we require you to give us all that required documentation before that now steps into your in progress or under review tab. And let me just give you a couple images just to help make that a little more clear. So here's an example of a provider who has 2 saved transactions. They've started an inactive and a downgrade, and they've got 1 in progress right now. And that's a lot, right? It's unlikely you'll have multiple transactions going on at one time, but maybe, you certainly could. So in this case, they can just simply click here on the transaction ID, go back in and finish that transaction. Once you've submitted a transaction, we're going to show you that in just a minute, you'll no longer be able to make changes, but you can always click on the number and view that application or transaction. You just won't be able to make any changes. Now, it's only your licensor will be able to make changes. The one thing you can do is discard or delete that transaction and start over. Okay? Once you've submitted all your documentation, it's now in progress, and your licensor will have it under review. That's what this third tab is. And then once a transaction is finished, your renewal has been granted, you've done your license change here, whatever it might be, all those transactions will then live here in the process section. All right, so we'll come back to this after we go through the transaction. It'll probably be a little bit more clear, but really important to pay attention to your dashboard. So this is where in-process transactions will live for you. So a little different, right, than just having paper on your computer, trying to go back and forth with your email. This is a really nice live dashboard to let you know kind of what the status of what you're working on is. So excited to have that there for you, and hopefully you'll get used to kind of referring back to this, just logging into your portal to let you know where you're at. As I mentioned before, you'll have a nice resources section. This is where all of your training information is going to live. You might have some pending actions depending on what's coming up. That'll let you know. And then along with those training materials, so let's say you're trying to start your renewal application. You're having trouble figuring it out. If you don't remember every word that I say today, it might be a little hard for you. That's okay. Right? So we're going to ask you first to go to that lead portal training guide. Right in the table of contents, renewal application, it'll take you through every step. It's got pictures, should be really helpful. If that doesn't work, go to our YouTube channel. You can come back to this video and watch it. Again, this is phase 2, but we'll have phase 3 up here. So that'll be step 2. If I'm still having trouble, I still don't know what I need to do next, or something's going wrong, we do have this technical help desk available. So again, all these options are before you reach out to your licensor, because your licensor is going to have a lot to do. They're trying to get to every program that they are responsible for. So we ask that you click on this technical help desk as the last resort, and we will have a team waiting for you. This is different than the normal EEC help desk. This is a technical one just for your portal, and we're really going to have this well-staffed, especially in those first few weeks after the system goes live, because we anticipate you will have some questions. So feel free to use that, but please go to your technical help desk before reaching out to your licensor, right? Just know they've got a lot on their plates. Okay, so let's dive in. Let's check out some of these buttons on your portal. So first is your program information, and you'll see, just like within the document library itself and other areas of the lead portal, there's little what we call help text. So you can just hover over this question mark. It'll give you a little bit more information if you don't remember what something is, or you want to get a little bit more, just a help text there for you. So for right now, we're just going to click on that program information tab. This hopefully looks pretty familiar to you, right? Just like your portal looks today, with the exception of one extra button. We do have that new licensing transaction that's on the home page. It's available as a shortcut here as well, just like we've got submitting new incident injuries on the home page. So you don't have to click in here. If you're just going home into your portal, if you just log into your portal, you can fill a non-compliance corrective action right here, and we should have an additional button as well. So just making a couple shortcuts for you. Otherwise, you've got your basic program information and licensor information right here for you, and then all these related lists of information on your program, right? Everything from your license information, a little bit more than on the home screen, but basically that same info, all the way down to your visits, your incidents and injuries, investigations. All that information is going to live right here for you. And of course, this is just a demonstration environment. We don't have any visits in right now, but as you continue forward as a licensor, we've had some of you with us for 20 plus years, you'll be able to see a lot of different visits in this portal as we go forward, right? So those will start to compile as your licensor does those visits from go live forward. Okay, so pretty straightforward. Great, so I'm just going to click on home. That brings me back to this home screen. Now I could have clicked on the new transaction button from there as well. Right, totally up to you. I'll just show you the main way to do it for now, which is going to be right here through your home screen. So we've logged in. We are ready to submit a renewal. We click on our new transaction. And right now, because we don't have any transactions started, all of the different options that might be available for us as a provider are here as transactions. So again, instead of using paper, we're just going to be on here using these digital applications, or these digital transactions. So you can do anything from apply for license change, report a provider change name, reissue your license, intent to close. Right? All of these, again, instead of paper, are now these transactions. So a lot of them are going to be simpler. Obviously, a renewal has a good amount of information in there that we do need from you. But what's going to be great is because it's online and in your own portal, it's going to draw a lot of the information that we already have for you, and even that you've already entered in the past, into this application. A bunch of benefits for you. But if we're ready, let's dive in and apply for our renewal. We're ready to go. All right, you did not lose audio. Just testing, making sure you're paying attention. Okay, so just like on the paper application, first page is going to be an instruction page, right, to let you know all of the different regulations, potential fees that you might need to do. And this is going to be really helpful to just go through this and make sure before you start that you have everything you need to begin your renewal application. This is that information page for you. Pretty simple. Once you go through all that, make sure you've got what you need. If you don't have something, we have a close option here. You can just back out and start at another time. That's fine. But if you feel you are ready, you're just going to go ahead and click on next. We'll dive into your application. And here you go. So here's a great example. Right on this very second page, your provider information has already been populated. So you can see these are grayed out, right? I can't even make any changes here. If you do need to change your program information, that's going to be a separate transaction or reaching out to your licensor. Those are going to be grayed out. And then there's a couple other questions that you're going to be asked. Is it approved by another party? Is your program contracted? And you'll see this in many spots throughout the application. If you click no, that's great. You'll be able to keep it that way. If the answer is yes, just go ahead and click on the yes option. And it's going to actually ask you for some additional information, right? So here we want the name of your contract administrator and your funding source. The are required, so you can see these red asterisks. That means it's a required field. So if you click no, nothing else is required. But if you are contracted, we are going to ask that you give us a little bit more information, okay? And those are going to be required. If I tried right now to save this application, it's not going to let me. So say, well, we need this information on there. You do need to fill it out. We're going to keep it simple today and just click no, but just wanted to show you that. And then down below is your contact information. Really important that we have a correct email address for you. because that's where your tax certification is going to get emailed, and a BRC form and all those kind of things. So you want to make sure that's correct. And then your phone number, of course, and fax number if needed. Hopefully we're avoiding the fax as much as possible now. That's what the system's for, but if you still need to, that's fine. And so now if I filled out everything with one of those red asterisks that's required, I should be able to go ahead and click Save and Next, right? And it'll let me through. As you saw before, I just tried to save it. It wouldn't work. I certainly could save it now at this point. And actually, this could be a good opportunity to show you, right? So I've started this application. Now we're going on to an owner administrator information. So I'm already in there as the program director. I started this application. I need to add a contact. I realized, oh, maybe I could click on Add a Contact. I said, oh, you know what? I don't have my program director's email address right now. Bummer. All right, so I've got to stop. Now it's as simple as I can click Close or go back to my home screen, whatever I want to do. Because I clicked Save and Next on the last screen, this application is now down here in draft status. All right, so there's no problem. You're allowed to start it and come back to it later. The key is remembering you started it. Because if I go back into new transactions now, there's very few options because I'm in the middle of a renewal application. So I can't do many other things. I certainly can't start another renewal until I finish this one. So if you click on there and nothing shows up, just go ahead and scroll down to your license transaction and see, oh, maybe that's right. I did start. I started my transaction at midnight last night before I was shoveling and I totally forgot. So my fault. So now it's here. And all I need to do is click on that blue transaction ID. Number is going to be important for a few different reasons later. And it'll bring me right to the page I left off on. Right, so you're welcome to do that at any point before you submit your renewal. All right, I'm ready. I've got that email address. So I'm going to go ahead and add a contact. This is my quality assurance director's contact I was looking for. They will be a reviewer. So for the BRC role section, I just want to select either a main contact or a reviewer. That is not a required field, so just put that in for those who that BRC is going to apply to. We're going to shout out to Tim today. So this would be Tim Jones, be a superhero too. TJ at mass.gov. So again, really important to get this email correct because that's where your BRC form is going to go if they do have a BRC role. Now these two fields, effective date and term date, just have to do with when this person's going to be working at our program. So if it's the whole time of the license, all you need to put in is either their start date or the license start date on whatever's true, which is the effective date that this person is a reviewer or quality assurance director at your program. Put that date in there. And now this part's a little trickier, the termination date, but it really just means whenever this person is no longer at your program. So if they're no longer there. It's not a required field, so if you don't know, if you're hoping they stay for a long time, that's great. Just keep that field blank. You can go ahead and add that in later. That can be another transaction that you do down the road to let us know, all right, this person's no longer here. Because again, the key, we want to keep all the information here in Portal, so we don't want to be deleting people. So instead of deleting, we're just putting in a termination date, and now when you renew the next time, that person will still come up, but it'll come up as terminated, and they will not obviously need to fill out a BRC form or anything like that. Make sense? For now, we're hoping to keep Tim for a while, so we're going to simply save that in there. No termination date. And at this point, we can go ahead and add any other contacts we need to. You can add as many contacts as applicable. Really important to add everyone who's going to need a BRC form. Okay. Again, any questions on this page, please feel free. Type in the question and answer box over on your GoToWebinar. See, we've got a couple questions in there already, at least one. Happy to answer those. So as of right now, you can see there's not even a save option because that was saved. As soon as I click save on that contact, again, I could click out of here, click home, close this application, and that quality assurance director will now be in here. For now, we're going to go on to our residential program details page. So I'm going to click next, bring us onto that page. You may have already noticed on the right-hand side, we have got the different steps of your transaction. Right, so in this case, these are all the pages for renewal transaction. I can't click forward until I've finished the page before and saved it. but I can always go back and click on another page. So I'll show you that once we get to the end here. But you can kind of follow along on the right as well. So here we've got our level of care in children served. So again, just these are some required fields. We are going to ask you fill each one of these out as you go through. It should be very similar information to what you've been doing on paper. We are just now doing it digitally here. So you can put in the different characteristics, people you serve, right, whatever characteristics apply, go ahead and put them in there. And then the gender of your children served, their minimum age, and of course their maximum age. Under that, we've got your current capacity, putting in however many you're currently licensed for. And then, of course, your requested capacity. You might want to increase or decrease. Today, we're going to keep it the same, right? But let's say we're going to go up to 11. We're going to add it, or up to 12. We're going to add a couple people here. See what that does for us on the next page. One thing to note is the system is dynamic. It's kind of smart, you know, so it knows based on what you've answered, it could add additional attachments on the next page to say, all right, well, if you're increasing capacity, we're going to need an extra form for you. So it's really helpful to just be honest and accurate here so that we can make sure we get your whole transaction processed as fast as we can. So now we're doing our ratio, of course, putting in our staff to child. We've got a robust program here, so we're just going to keep them even, stick with our lucky number 12. And then if you need to add a comment, we've also got a section in there for you. Whether or not you use physical restraint, another great situation. If you click no, great, nothing else to fill out. If you click yes, we're just going to ask you let us know what type of physical restraint method. Just got a whole drop-down list here. Okay. And then just putting in your referral agencies, right? So whoever you are working with, add them in here. Let us know. We do have a none or other option as well. So this is a required field, right, with the asterisk. So let's say, so this button's going to add them. This button's going to remove them. So let's say I removed, and I go to click save, or even save and next, right? It's not going to let me go forward until I've selected something. So this could be a little tricky for you. There is this none option. I know most of you probably are working with some agency, but if you're not, simply clicking none will now allow you to save, or as we'll do now, click on save and next. Make sense? Okay. So for our required attachments, you can see we have none. So for family childcare, they're always going to have required attachments because they don't have your wonderful document library. And there's a couple of reasons for that, and that's okay. But for group and school age and residential and placement like yourself, really all of your documentation is going to be handled through the document library, which Lynn is going to walk you through here in just a couple minutes. So for now, you're going to be able to go ahead and move through this page. If we do determine, or depending on the transaction you do, there might be an option where you do need to attach something here. So we will keep this page here on your application. But as of right now, for a renewal transaction, all those required documents are going to be handled through the library, not here through this actual application. Right? So just think of this. You're filling out the paper application, sending that in, and then you've got to make sure you send in all the other documentation as well before we can start to process your renewal. Make sense? So for now, it should just let us click next, and we'll go on to the next page. Actually, one thing I do want to show you on the attachments page, it does have that alert. So here, I can just go right back. I can click on that attachments button and bring me back. This alert is letting you know that you have some expired documents, just like it did on the home page. And actually clicking right on this link will bring you right to your document library. So if you get to this page and you say, all right, you know what, I want to make sure I already submit all my documentation, just click here. This application is going to save for you, right? It'll just be down in your draft status. Won't be going anywhere. You can upload your documents and then come back and submit your application. Totally fine. It's going to be up to you. So the very last page of your renewal is your summary and submission page. So really important here to go through and make sure all the information is correct, because if it's not, either your licensor is going to have to input it and reach out to you, and it's going to slow down the process, or you're simply going to have to delete or discard this application. Right? That's what this delete option is. So either your licensor will delete it and ask you to start over, or you're going to have to do so. So it's essential you have all of your information correct here to the best of your ability. So you just slowly scroll through, check it over, make sure everything's correct. So if something is wrong, say, oh, I forgot to add an administrator. No problem. We haven't submitted it yet. So we can go back up to our ownership and administrator information, click the green checkbox, and go ahead and add a new contact. Right, so it's available to do still because we haven't submitted yet. We just add that contact and then go ahead back down to our review page. Once we've looked over our whole application, the last section is basically an online signature. So this is the simplest form that we are able to do here. We're glad to be able to give you this option instead of having to print it and sign it and upload it. You can actually simply click that you have read and understood this question, and understanding that making any misleading or false statements or reports anywhere in this application is grounds to revoke, suspend, or refuse to renew a license. So again, really important that you get it all correct to the best of your ability there. And you'll see before I click the checkbox, I'm not able to submit. I can't even click on that button until I've said, yes, I agree. Probably pretty similar to other forms you filled out before. There we go. So once we filled it all out, all we need to do is click I agree and submit. Again, you will not be able to make changes once you do this, so make sure it's all correct. Once you do so, go ahead and click on submit. You will get a nice notification letting you know that it was successful. You don't have to sit and wonder and hope, but you wouldn't have to anyway, because how would you know that it was successfully submitted back here on your homepage? Exactly. Just scroll down. It's not going to be in draft anymore because it's submitted, right? It's not just saved, it's submitted. So it's here in our second tab. So now our transaction has been submitted. So you can see there's a couple useful links over here. One's just to delete, simply if you need to. Now the other two have to do with some of the required forms. So for any renewal, you've of course got to fill out a tax certification and a BRC form. If for some reason you misplace those emails or you don't see them come through, that's these links are for. You can click on that link and it will resend the email to you, the provider. Right? When you get those emails, they're going to look something like this. So you'll have, for your tax certification email, you'll have two different sections of this email. We're going to ask that you just print this out, right? Go ahead and print out this email to include with your application fee. You can see down at the bottom, it's going to let you know what your fee is. And we'll even have at the bottom of the email a nice little tear-off section where it'll have your provider information, your transaction ID, and your amount due. It is imperative that you put this transaction ID either on your check or in the envelope with your check. Because if we are not clear, if we don't know what the check is for, we are going to send that check back to you, the provider. We get a lot of checks in every day. We don't know where it's going to go. We are hoping to add online payment in the future, but we don't have a date for it yet. We're not sure when that's going to happen. So in the meantime, we're just asking you print out this email and send it in with your application fee. You can just tear this off on the bottom if you want to. That makes sense, everybody? Great. So the second section of this tax certification ID is, of course, actually filling out your tax certification. So all you're going to need to do is click on this tax certification link. That is going to take you to another website called DocuSign. And DocuSign is going to allow you to sign your application digitally. So you're going to be able to fill out your certification. So you're going to be able to fill out your whole tax certification. It's a pretty simple form. And then sign it right there through DocuSign. And as soon as you click finish and complete that document, you will be sending that directly to EEC with your application, your transaction. So really simple process. From that point, you can also click on the show document, and it's going to allow you to download it, print it out. If you want to save it, hang on to that file. Makes total sense. You're welcome to. But you're not going to need to send it in or email it or anything, because it's going to come right to us, the EEC. So really excited to have this DocuSign option available. Again, it is a different website, but it should be really straightforward and simple. And we will have in your lead portal training manual, there will be screenshots and images of how to do that. Really simple, but if you need help, it will be in there. Okay? Great. So the second email you're going to be getting is your BRC consent form. Just like your tax certification form, this is going to send you to DocuSign, ask you to fill out your BRC on there, sign it digitally, and then finish and submit that to us at EEC. This BRC email is going to go to each BRC designee that you put in your application, right? Each one of those people. And you will not be able to, we will not process your application until every one of those people has filled out and submitted their BRC form. Even if you've submitted all your other documentation, the document library, even if you've sent your check, we've even got a nice little button here. When your application fee has been mailed, just click on that to confirm you've done it, and that's great. We'll know you've sent it. Nice little option. You see it just goes away after I've done so. And these will do the same. So after you filled out your tax certification, you'll see that link disappear. But if you're still waiting on your executive director or someone else in your program to fill out their BRC, this button's still going to be there until they have finished and completed that. Just stay on them and let them know that needs to be done. All right, but once that happens, once those documents all come into us, it's now going to be in this third tab, right? In progress under review, which lets you know you've done everything you need to do, and now you just need to exercise some patience, and we will get your transaction completed as quickly as we can. All right, so that is basically how your renewal takes place. How's that seem to everybody? So I know we went kind of quickly. A lot of new information. Again, we're going to have plenty of options. If you can come back through this training, we'll have that training manual for you. But that's basically just taking your paper applications and now putting it here onto your portal and make it a little quicker and easier. So the last segment we want to touch on here is your document library. Right? This is going to be your online filing cabinet. So I'm going to save some breath to let Lynn take over and just walk you quickly through what a document library looks like and what you're going to need to do in here. Just take it away, Lynn.
Okay, thanks, Pete. So as Pete so aptly called it, the document library in LEAD is what we refer to kind of as your electronic filing cabinet. And this is how we're asking all of our programs to submit any documents, handbooks, policies, any kind of documentation that you would need to submit to your licensor other than an application. So Pete, if you just want to click on that document library link over to the left on the home page on the portal, this is what you'll see as your document library page. So what we've done is we have hopefully defined every type of document that we would be expecting a program to submit to their licensor. So that's what you'll see in the left-hand column. So if we just scroll kind of slowly so that you can see the types of documents that we've defined that you can submit to your licensor. So when you go to upload a document to EEC, you just come to the document library and look for the document type that you want to upload. If you need to upload something that you don't see in this list, we also have an other type defined up at the top of this list so that you can upload actually any type of document to your licensor, even if it's not defined in this list. The document library is available for you to upload documents to EEC at any time. So you don't need to wait until it's time for your renewal or time to, submit any other kind of transaction. You can upload a document whenever it's updated, or as you build your library, your electronic library over time, you can just upload a document whenever you need to. What we're asking providers to do is, after phase 3 goes live near the end of March, is to slowly build your library over time and upload your documents into the library, even those documents that you've already submitted to EEC and have been reviewed by your licensor already. And the reason that we're asking this is so that, if you've recently renewed, we don't want to wait, 2 years in order for you to upload your documentation into the library. We'd like to build this electronic library as soon as we can. So, just as you find the time, upload a document here and there so that we can build this electronic library for your program. So you'll see as you look at this page, in the left-hand column, as I mentioned, the document types are defined. And next to the name of each document type, you'll see a little yellow circle with a question mark on it. And that's actually a link for help text. So if you're not quite sure what should be in that document, this will tell you a little description about it, and also will point to regulations that apply to that document. The next column about the documents is the status of the document. All of your documents are going to start out in unsubmitted status, meaning that you have not yet submitted the document electronically to EEC. Once you upload it initially, the document status will change to submitted. Once it's submitted to EEC, your licensor will review it and will either approve it, or if he or she needs to send it back to you for revision, they will do that. If they do send a document back to you, you'll receive an email notification so that you'll know that you need to make some changes to your document. The next column refers to the responsible party. And what that means is who's responsible for submitting and making changes to this document. And there's 2 possible people that could be listed as a responsible party. It can either say provider or it can say umbrella. The documents all start out saying provider, which means that each individual program can upload the documents that are listed here. But if your organization is set up so that you have portal users at the umbrella level users have the option to decide that they want to upload documents at the umbrella level. When they do so, the documents that they upload at the umbrella level will then be relevant to all of the programs underneath that umbrella. So if they upload personnel policies, for example, at the umbrella level, those personnel policies take the place of the personnel policies for all the programs under the umbrella. The responsible party will then be listed to say umbrella, and the individual programs under the umbrella can no longer update that document with their own version of personnel policies. When you upload a document, the next column, uploaded date, will fill in. You can specify an expiration date for a document if you wish. Not all documents expire, so that is an optional field. So let's show how you can upload a document. If you're ready to submit something to EEC, you just click on the blue Manage Documents button over to the right, and this window will pop up. So it starts out by giving you the name of the type of the document up at the top and a description of the document. The next box shows the document name, and you are able to change that name if you want. Then the expiration date field is underneath that. As I said, that is optional. Most documents, as I said, don't expire, but if you had something like an inspection certificate or something like that that does expire, you would fill that in. Those expiration dates would be verified and checked by your licensor. So if you're not sure if you need to put an expiration date or what date should go in there, don't really worry about it. The licensors will be checking them anyway. If you are submitting a document in the document library that has previously been submitted to EEC and reviewed by your licensor, we're asking that you check this checkbox that says, check if this document has been previously approved. And that will let the licensor know that you're not submitting a new document or a revised document, that this is something that they've already reviewed. When you do this, the status of your document in the library is going to say legacy approved, and that'll remind you and let the licensor know that this document had been previously approved by EEC. So then when you're ready to choose the document that you want to upload, you would just click on the blue Select Attachments button on the left-hand side, and you would choose the document from your computer that you want to upload. Uploading is actually a two-step process. Once you've uploaded it, you're going to need to click Save. You'll get this red message on your screen that will remind you to please click Save after uploading the documents. The reason that it's a two-step process is because you can actually attach more than one file to this document. If it's a long document and if it's in pieces on your computer, for whatever reason, you can actually upload several documents here before you click Save. So once you've attached all the documents that you need to, just click the Save button and it will automatically upload to EEC. And your licensor will get an email notifying them that you've sent a document to them, so you don't have to then notify your licensor that you've sent the document to the library. If you do want to if you do want to email your licensor, if you have a question about the document or a note that you wanted to send, we do have an email feature built into the document library. If you click on the document type, where Pete's going to click right now, that will open up this email area underneath the document. So if you click on the email licensor blue button underneath there, you can send an email to your licensor about this particular document. You can attach another file. You can ask questions. The licensor can respond to you. And the entire email conversation about this document will remain on the document library underneath that document for your convenience. So you don't have to go hunting if you've been having a conversation about what's in your document. It'll all be right here in the document library. And you can collapse that email area to keep the page on the document library clean, and you open it up just when you need to look at it. Okay, thanks, Pete. And as Pete mentioned before, if you have documents in the library that have not yet been submitted, or once they've been submitted, if you have some that expire within 30 days, that red message is going to pop up at the top of your document library and also on your portal homepage, just to let you know that there are some documents that need some attention, just to help you keep things up to date. Okay, so that's the document library overview, unless you have something that you think you'd like to add, Pete.
I think you hit it all, Emma. Perfect. That was perfect.
Great.
Awesome.
Thanks.